Going. It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with Crannk.com. Today I'm having a chat with Marcus Fraser, vocalist for Starcrazy, who have created a bit of hype with Alice Cooper cranking their first single, Your Time Is Now. They've got the Long Way Home single, which is coming out, and they've got a debut EP on the way, I think, sometime maybe the end of this year or 2021. Marcus, cheers for joining me, mate.
Yeah, of course. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm not bad. I'm just visiting my dad. I was actually dropping him a Starcrazy t-shirt, so I thought I'd hang around, do the interview here.
Yeah, nice. Have you got the shirt there? You're going to have to show us now. There we go.
Yeah, he's wearing it.
Dad repping the Starcrazy shirt. Cool, man. That's really cool having your dad along. I love hearing stories. I love hearing stories of parents supporting kids, man, especially in musical journeys. I've heard it a few times where dads and mums have really supported, you know, their children and their musical journeys coming up. So can I ask first, how did this Starcrazy journey start for you, man? Tell me a little bit about that, how this has all begun.
Well, I've known Odin, the guitarist, since we were kids. We were in a high school band together for a while. Then after high school, we kind of, for a couple of years, we just kind of went in doing our own separate bands. I was drumming because I played drums my whole life because Dad's a drummer.
Yeah.
And and then we kind of like, things were kind of, both bands we're in happened to kind of be like settling at the same time, like kind of just winding down. And we just decided to write some music together again, like we used to when we were kids. And we kind of just come back better than ever, like just with the mutual influences. And we've only been in Starcrazy for about a year.
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, and then we got
You go.
Oh, I was just going to say we got for a while it was just the two of us kind of writing music, and then we got JB on bass and Jack on drums, and we call JB because his name is also Jack.
That's fun. I've chatted to a few bands that have had to do things like that with members of the same names. So was that around 2019 that this all kind of started? You started working on this? Yeah, towards the end of the year. Yep. Can you tell me about that first single, Your Time Is Now?
That was just a song I had kicking around that I wrote on the bass guitar, and I'd had it for years, and I don't know, I just kind of only recently added the lyrics. And yeah, it just kind of had like, it sounded like a song, like a more of a pop song. So we thought that'd be a good leading track.
Yeah, catchy, easy for everyone to get into.
Yeah, and then the rest of the stuff we write is a bit heavier, you know, because it's got more of Odin's influences, the way he plays guitar, more from the metal side.
Yeah. So can I ask about how did Alice Cooper pick this up, man? This must have been pretty cool for you boys that Alice Cooper's grabbed it. He's like, man, plugged it on his radio show. I know it would have reached a couple more ears, and it would have been good for a band like you to kind of hit the scene like that and kind of have someone's name kind of behind you on that first single, kind of playing it to all those extra ears.
Yeah, for sure. And we even kind of like put his quote in our bio from the producer of the show, of his show, just kind of describing what the song sounds like. So it's definitely just been like a starting point to kind of our trajectory, you know what I mean, to put in the bio and that kind of thing. But it started from, I think as a woman who knows my dad had just gotten wind of it, and she liked the video and she'd sent it into the Nights with Alice Cooper people. And the producer, a woman named Catherine, really liked it. And the next, like a couple of days later, I got an email saying that they're going to play it. So it was a really cool surprise for me. I didn't even know that she'd sent it in. And I'd never even met this lady. So I got in touch with her and thanked her so much because, they shared the video on the Nights with Alice Facebook, and then they actually played it on the show as well.
Yeah, did you get all the family around for that night and kind of crank it up?
Oh,
really
well,
loud?
my dad's a huge fan. Yeah.
Yeah, a huge Alice Cooper fan. He would have been, wow, that would have been really cool then for him. God, yeah, my son's band's getting cranked up by Alice Cooper. I could see him. Yeah,
totally. Me too, though. Like, he's been, ever since I was little. Yeah. So, it's a good little confidence boost.
Yeah, no, I was a bit of an Alice Cooper fan. I remember being in the car and hearing the tape cassette and the one with the Vincent Price and stuff like that. I just love the horror themes all
Yeah.
over Alice Cooper as a young lad. You're like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Can you tell me
I'm wearing
lyrically?
a Love It to Death shirt now, actually.
Yeah, I can see that. Can you tell me lyrically what that track means for you, Your Time Is Now?
Well, I kind of had put off like doing my own music for a while. I was just drumming in a band, and then the lyrics kind of just came about, just trying to motivate myself to start writing my own music again.
Yep.
And because there's no better time like now.
Yeah, that's it. And it would have been a cathartic experience as well, getting in and playing your own music as well, and finally putting this down as well.
Yeah, it was just kind of like a good feeling about it, and that song just kind of stood out from that initial recording we did. We didn't even have a drummer yet. I just played drums on the recording.
Yep.
And then we got JB on bass, but then we released it just to get a bit of get things rolling.
Yeah.
We found Jack on drums, and now we're kind of a full band now with the new single, and so bigger and better than ever.
Yeah, and Long Way Home is the second single that's recently come out, eh?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that track?
That one I wrote on, again, it's more of like, when we see us live, we're actually pretty heavy. But this is another song that actually, our next single is a bit heavier and faster, but this one I wrote on guitar while I was learning guitar during COVID.
Yeah.
And it's just, I wrote the lyrics just walking home drunk. And it just kind of went from there. It just kind of came naturally.
Yeah, it works like that. Sometimes the best lyrics and the best music kind of comes naturally as well.
It happened pretty quickly, and then it just, we had planned to go into the studio to do the EP, and that song came together, one of the last ones, and we went, oh, let's add it, let's do this song instead of one of the others, and it ended up being a good choice for the first single from the EP because it just has a big power pop kind of sound to it.
Yep.
So yeah.
When did you record the EP? Can you tell me a little bit about the recording and production process, and what was that like, getting into the studio and recording this EP?
That was great fun because we went up the Central Coast.
Yep.
We're from Sydney, like West Sydney.
Yeah. And
it was kind of like our first chance to really bond as a whole band with Jack on drums, and we all stayed in a motel just like a couple of doors down from the studio. And so just a lot of drinking and a lot of making good music. And we had a guy called Mayhem who was in the Hell City Glamours, if you remember that band. Yep. He was producing, and we had a really cool engineer called Andrew Beck, and the studio was Damien Gerard.
Yeah, nice.
So they used to be based in Balmain in Sydney, but they recently moved up the coast. But it used to be, the new studio used to be a television studio.
Yep. So
it's really big, and it had all this great space for recording drums and doing all sorts of cool stuff, experimenting with the sound. So yeah, it was a really good experience.
Yeah. So when did you record that?
Oh, sorry, you asked when. Yeah, it was July. I think just when COVID was settling a bit, we had enough, we could actually go in, and they took our temperature when we went in and everything. But we were just coming out of that lockdown period, and luckily we left it booked in, and it worked out. So we had booked it, a month or two in advance.
Yeah, that would have been good to be able to get in there on that window and kind of crank out the recording. It's been funny talking to a few bands, and interesting as well to see the different restrictions all over the world, because I've chatted to some bands and they've could only have 2 people in the recording studio at a time, over in the UK.
Really? Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's big bands as well, so it's interesting to see the different restrictions and the way they are, and kind of how lucky we are in Australia. We're all sitting, but the rest of the world's copping it really bad compared to us. At least we kind of.
Where do you live?
I live in South Australia.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, right on the Murray.
So it's pretty tame there?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. No one comes to South Australia. See, the good thing is where everyone misses the Adelaide Kings, it's like, no one comes to South Australia. So not even COVID wanted to come to South Australia, mate. No, I
That's
love
good
it
to
here.
hear.
I love it here. So, when can we roughly expect this EP to drop? Have you got a time frame at all? Can you say much, or is it?
No, we've been talking about the last week, because we're thinking about the next single. So we'll have another single out in December.
Yep.
And then we'll have the full EP is 6 tracks in probably late January or early Feb. But we haven't locked that in, but it'll be next year, the EP.
Yeah, cool. So where's the best place people can get along and support Starcrazy? Because I always like to bring up support. We'll mention, you're playing live, and live is a big thing for you guys, and not being able to play the shows that you're able to used to play, it's a little hard. So people got to realize just because we can't go to live shows doesn't mean people can't get along and support Starcrazy. You know what I mean? Buy like some of the 6 shirts your dad's wearing, and and music. Not actually, people do forget it's Spotify and that's not really doing a great deal for artists. It's great to listen to the band, and if you like it, buy the album. I always push it. Buy the album, support bands. So best place we can get along and support you guys at Starcrazy.
Well, I mean, luckily we've been selling a lot of t-shirts recently, which is great. We made them up initially for this gig. We're doing a Halloween gig tomorrow night at Frankie's. Yeah. So anyway, we made them up for that, and we've almost sold out of them already. So that's been really good. That's through Bandcamp.
Yeah, cool. I'll put in the links.
The single itself. Yeah, please. And the single itself is kind of, just because it's the one song, we haven't really released it physically, but there'll be a vinyl pressing of the EP, I think. And so we'll set that up. But if you want to financially support us, which really helps, we have t-shirts available online on Bandcamp.
Yeah, well, it does, and people don't realise that the merch kind of just covers recording and the way things are in the industry. It's people don't realise you're basically making musical content, and you have to give it away essentially. So the only way you're going to break even merch, unless people like me, mad supporters of the scene, and other fans, they're buying the shirts and the merch, and that actually helps support as well. Yeah. Cool. Marcus, man, I look forward to this EP dropping, man. I'm going to be cranking it loud. I'll share the next single when it comes out, and I'll get you on for another chat, man, and then we can chat more about this EP when it drops. So, Marcus, I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of your visit with your dad. Tell him I said cheers for modelling the new shirt. Before we sign out, do you have any last words or shout-outs or thank yous you'd like to quickly add in?
Just thanks to you for this is our first video interview, so I appreciate it. And just follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're pretty busy towards the end of the year, and then we'll have the EP out next year.
Awesome.
But thanks for your time.
Nah, absolute pleasure, Mark. This is really cool. I love talking music, especially in the Australian music industry. Everyone, it's Frankie's this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Still got tickets there?
Saturday night. Yeah. It's free entry. You just got to get down early to get in.
Get in early, get down to Frankie's, go check out Starcrazy, go check out the singles. Your time is now. Long way home. Grab some shirts. Get down there and grab some shirts. Support Starcrazy. Grab the singles. Turn it up really bloody loud so the neighbours can crank out the Starcrazy as well. Marcus, this has been an absolute pleasure, mate. We will talk soon again, my friend.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Mate.